We live in a world today where we're in the loneliest society that's ever existed, according to studies. What's up, my Ratchet people? Welcome back to another episode of Ratchet RN Speaks. It's yours truly, Nurse Ratchet. And if you need to know a little bit more about me, please check out my first episode where I explain a lot more in detail about why I started this. But basically, this show is for anyone, actually. But it's mostly tailored to nurses. But I feel like anyone can definitely benefit from all the topics in which we'll discuss. The main goal here is to transform your nursing practice from ratchet to expert. And like I said, go to my first episode so you can see a little bit more about what I'm talking about and what I mean by ratchet. I recently did a post that talks about depression. I did a mental health check-in that was really helpful for some people. I got a lot of great feedback. We talked and it opened up beautiful conversations of growth and love. And so I think today's topic is going to really deep dive into depression, which is something that is way, way, way too common. We live in a world today where we're in the loneliest society that's ever existed, according to studies. There's a lot of factors that are involved in us being the loneliest society, and that's coming at a real human cost. And so today's episode is going to deep dive into what depression and anxiety is, how we can overcome it, what to look for. So basically, I was on the train home and a guy jumped in front of the train and it caused a major delay and it was really, really sad. He was a young man and he's someone that was known to some of my patients. And one of the common things with depression is that people always say, I would have never thought that from him. He seemed so happy. He was so lucky. He had so much going for him and all this. And I'm here to just debunk all of the myths about mental health. Where there is breath, there is hope, okay? Meaning that it can change any second with your mental health. It's on a continuum, okay? So one day you can be feeling really, really great, and the next day life happens to you, circumstances start happening, and they snowball, and you're really depressed. And it can go the other way around where you're really, really depressed and then life happens to you and you change and you're now the happiest person on earth and you feel meaning in your life and so much wonderful things are going on for you. So it's very important on a daily basis to check in with who you are yourself and understand where you are today and have that mental health check-in. And number two, we have this perception of depression and anxiety that a pill can fix it. And that very may well be true, that there is a chemical imbalance in your brain. That does happen. I don't know if you guys know about seasonal depression, but it's really real, where as the season changes, as it's more dark, you do get a little depressed, and I did realize that. I had a lot of factors going on. My dad just died, and just so many things were going on, and that was my first real exposure to what depression looks like, and it was really hard for me to navigate, but also it's taught me so much, and it's really allowed me to empathize with so many people who are experiencing that. I just want to talk about the signs and symptoms of depression first. So there are people who don't want to get up out of bed, are becoming more and more socially isolated, saying that they're tired, they're not engaged. You see the person who's suffering that is drinking more. Like I said, I want to tell you, your brain is not broken. Our society is broken. That's the issue, is that your brain is signaling to you that this world and the society that we live in is meant to bring you further away from the things that truly matter and that make life meaningful. And I mean that. We're not out in nature as much because we're stuck in our commute, stuck in our cars, stuck in our phones. I had a 3-day conference out in San Francisco this week, and I'm on the train. No one was talking to another person. Everyone was stuck on their phone like this. I actually want to do a study to see how people's necks are going to look in the next coming years, because everybody's neck was in their phone, just looking at their phone the whole time. And we totally lack connection. No one's connecting. Nobody's talking. Nobody is caring about each other now, and we got to change that as a society. When you're depressed, you're usually in feelings of the past coming into your present, and when you're anxious, you're nervous about what's going to happen in the future, right? So, and we all have thoughts and concerns and worries and stuff, but it's when that becomes imbalanced that it becomes depression and or anxiety. And it can go either way, and you can have both and flip back and forth between that heads and tails, and it can be a really vicious cycle. And we all know that thoughts become things. So it's very important to control our thoughts, our mindset, our attitude. Medications for anxiety and depression do work. There are benzos that help with the anxiety. There's drugs like Paxil and Prozac and all that does help with the chemistry of your brain and can make a significant effect and change, but it does not get to the underlying cause. We all bought into the wrong values. This idea that status, wealth, showing off, doing it for the gram, being lit, hot girl summer, and I'm not gonna be a hypocrite right now and say I don't do all that too, because I be right there with it. But I am trying to be more conscious about what I put out into the world, because at the end of the day, that does affect people. And studies do show that people who try to cover up their sadness by their wealth and their status and things like that are naturally more inclined to be more depressed. And so we're in this Instagram, doing it for the gram, doing it for the likes and not the love. And it's really having a human cost on us, because the depression that's we're experiencing is being internalized into our bodies, and it's really causing diseases, sadness, despair, suicide, and just all kinds of issues. So one of the things that I find that what makes our groups and our programs so special is that we not only just give you a prescription and say go home and try that out and you're going to feel better. It also has the support component, the component of camaraderie, the component of having other people to support you. And you might be saying, I don't need other people. I'm good on my own. Other people are full of you know what. And that may very well be true. But our lizard brain and how we survived in this world was through coming together as a tribe. That connection is so important, that understanding with one another. And so if we don't have that, you're lonely. And loneliness is the cause of a lot of premature death, okay? We take that for granted. We take our lack of connection for granted. And these devices, the phones, the laptops, all these things that keep us tuned into this, keep us away from each other. And with that, that's what's creating so much anxiety and depression. One thing as nurses, we work long, hard hours away from our families. And we spend a lot of time with our coworkers. I think most people spend a lot of time with their coworkers at work and stuff. And so if you don't find that your work is fulfilling and provides you a sense of control in what you do, that makes you really depressed, because you're there most of the time. And if you don't have autonomy and love for your work and have that strong sense of meaning and control at your job and in your overall life, that can be really, really down. Whatever your interests are, there are other people with those same interests. And so just go out there and find those people. Find that positive energy. There's always something to learn from people. I find that we're living in a society today where we're so closed in and we're so afraid to make mistakes and ask for help. We're taught that in school that you cannot make mistakes, and if you ask for help, you're a dummy. And quite opposite. By making our mistakes, we're able to navigate through the solutions and be better and improve. And so I definitely encourage you to ask for help. Make mistakes, go out there, try some things. You don't have to be the best at it. When you first try things, are going to be terrible. I'm sure my first episodes of this are going to be horrible. And as I get better, I'm going to get better. My setting's going to get better. Everything's going to get better. So with time, things get better. Go ahead and try some things that make you feel good, that bring you joy. I sound like that little lady on Netflix who's like, oh, to the room, the tidying up with what's her name. Anyways, so I say all this to say, go find your tribe. Go find somewhere that keeps you whole. I hope this was helpful. I hope this has you thinking about things that bring you joy, that bring you meaning. I hope that you're brainstorming about things that bring you control in your work. It may not be a job that you like, but what can you do to bring meaning to it that allows you to feel good about going there every day? Find those gems in everything that you do, and I know that things will turn around. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment below. Also, please let me know what things you find meaning in your life. What allows you to really have meaning in this world. And let's have a conversation. Thank you so much again for watching, and let me know your thoughts below. Okay? Take care. Peace.